So as we think about our understanding related to rounding, we're really going to be focused on being explicit with our instruction. That means we are going to make our instruction very clear so that students understand what it means to round numbers. And when students have that foundation with rounding, then they can engage in that transfer and inquiry and do the math. So two rounding concepts that we are going to focus on include the following: rounding to the nearest 10 and then rounding to the nearest 100. Let's go ahead and get started with rounding to the nearest 10. When we ask students to round to the nearest 10, we ask them to do the following. First, we want them to read the number by period. So here this number is 10,569. Then we want them to determine the place value to which they will round. In this example, we would ask students to round to the tens place. And then we want to determine the digit in the tens place. So here the digit is 6 or 60. Now, one of the ways that's really helpful to teach students about rounding is to use an open number line. So here on my open number line, I'm going to write the number to the 10 below that 60 on the left side of the number line. So that would be 10,560. And then I'll write the number to the 10 above that 60 on the right side of the number line. So that's 10,570. Then it's always helpful to kind of figure out, well, what's the middle bit of that space on the number line? So between 10,560 and 10,570 is 10,565. So I'll go ahead and plot that on my open number line as well. Then I'm going to think about, well, where does my original number fall on the number line? If it's closer to the number on the left side of the number line, then I would round down. But if it's closer to the number on the right side of the number line, I would round up. Here I can see that it's not closer to 10,560, but that my original number is closer to 10,570. So 10,569 is very close to 10,570. So I would round, if I was rounding to the nearest 10, to 10,570. Let's look at another example here for 6,483. I'm first going to read the number, so 6,483. I'm going to determine the place value to which I'll round. In this case, it's the tens place. And I'm going to think about the digit in the tens place, which here it's 8, which represents 80. Then on my open number line, I would write the 10 below, so that's 6,480. And the 10 above, which is 6,490. Halfway, I would find 6,485. So where does 6,483 plot on a number line? It plots about right there. So I can see that my original number is closer to 6,480. So if I was rounding to the nearest 10, I would say that 6,483 is approximate to 6,480. It is now your opportunity to explore this rounding to the nearest 10 with activity number 6. With this activity, gosh, that was hard to say. With this activity, you are going to think about how to help students round to the nearest 10. We've outlined 2 numbers that I would like you to try, but then you get to generate your next 2 numbers. And then in your workspace, what are your steps? What are your visuals? How are you going to help students with this activity related to rounding to the nearest 10? Have fun with activity 6, and I'll see you in just a bit.